Next on the Midlife Mafia podcast.
What is perimenopause?
All of a sudden, one day I couldn't stop crying.
I was like so ultra sad that I convinced my husband to we need a dog.
I remember saying to myself, if this is the way that I'm going to live the rest of my life, I can't do it.
Levitating out of the bed, running outside in the middle of a snowstorm.
I would do that.
In the early 1900s, when they used to put all these women in the sanitarium, they all went crazy.
Do you have a rage in menopause?
Do you really think that your boss is going to understand that you're a psycho?
Welcome to the Midlife Mafia podcast. My name is Christy. This episode, perimenopause, hell on earth.
Hey, I'm Marietta, and what is perimenopause?
I'm Elle, and today we have a special guest, Maria, who is my soul sister in perimenopause, because we both know what kind of hell it is, and we are going to share it with everyone who doesn't know, like you guys. So get ready. Buckle your seatbelt because you're going on a ride.
Let's go, bitches.
The Midlife Mafia is an experience geared towards women over 40. We're going to make you feel powerful, enlightened, and confident about the woman you are and what the future has in store for you. We are 3, in this case 4 different women, and we're putting the Gen X spin on midlife, talking about all kinds of things. Today, especially perimenopause. So midlife is a time of change. It's a time of reflection. Most importantly, though, it's a time of growth. It's a time when you can use your past experiences to help you guide your future because you've learned things, you've done things, you've made mistakes, and all that goes forward and helps you live better, make better decisions, and share them with others, hopefully, so they don't have to learn on
TikTok.
Exactly. How can you not love someone who learned about that? That just shows you that people are going to TikTok to learn about perimenopause.
We go to TikTok to learn about everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or check.
I mean, I see things that I never saw before. So I find it interesting.
Start looking at things online, then all of a sudden, your reels are kind of geared towards what you were researching. So
You don't even have to research, Maria. All I have to say is hello, and then I'm getting 17,000 videos of hello.
It's kind of crazy how they listen to you. You know, it's a little weird. But Marietta makes every kind of recipe from TikTok, so therefore, works for something.
And Maria.
Oh, wow.
Recipes
They don't cook.
Recipes are fine, but women's health, I think, could maybe be a little bit more elevated in the spectrum of life of learning.
But there's so many phases of women's health.
Yeah. Well, would you like your doctor to learn about how to do something on TikTok?
Actually, I wouldn't mind it.
What, if he's performing a procedure on you?
Yeah, let me see. Let's go to TikTok for this.
Okay, I don't know.
Listen, I've learned a lot from that and ChatGPT.
So you would perform an operation because of Chat?
No, but you know what? But all kidding aside, lower me a little bit. All kidding aside, I got to say one thing. I wouldn't mind. I kind of feel, maybe you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the stuff that I've watched is kind of true, and I've looked it up in numerous different ways. I'm not saying to perform an operation, but it's always good to get something else's opinion on what could be wrong. I would look it up and say, why do I feel this way? And I would list some things. I just found out that I have a hornet's nest. It's a bee's nest, a hornet's nest outside because ChatGPT.
But that being said, though, if you kind of turn to the internet for a lot of things, and if you're looking to see if you have symptoms or something, it kind of relates to everything. Nausea, you'll think you have cancer. You think you have, can't Google MD.
No.
And that's, so there are doctors that you go to for these things. So, Elle, what is perimenopause?
It's funny because perimenopause is like the opposite of what you were just saying. You know how you go to the internet and you Google something and then you have all kinds of you have cancer, because your ear hurts or whatever. Well, perimenopause is basically when a woman's hormones start to decrease. And there's a multitude of symptoms that go along with that. So when you start Googling a multitude of symptoms, everything in the world comes up except for perimenopause. It was the most overlooked women's health problem for so long. It actually took a generation of women to become doctors and to become scientists, to take a better look at it and to take a closer look at the studies and say, what is this? Because nobody actually bothered to know. When I started going through the symptoms, I thought to myself, in the early 1900s when they used to put all these women in like the sanitarium, like they all went crazy. I'm like, that's why.
That's insane.
Because you get so crazy when your hormones, and it starts slowly, so you don't notice it at first. And women, being the caretakers and everything, they're like, okay, I pulled my back because I was lifting the Christmas tree and I was dusting all the windows and I was on top of a ladder and I was doing this and I was doing that. And I'm crabby because, my kids aren't listening to me. And we make a million excuses for everything. But when you put the whole thing together, it's estrogen. It's your hormones. Your hormones are decreasing. So your muscles are not functioning the way they should. Your brain is not functioning the way it should. Your mind is not functioning the way it should. And it's all because of deficits in estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone.
So not everybody experiences that. All the symptoms, though.
No.
Certain people have different symptoms.
And that's
certain
another-
levels are different.
Right.
But when did you know you were in perimenopause?
Me personally, it happened all at once because the average age is 51. So I skated right past 51 and thought I'm going to be one of those lucky people that doesn't have any
Well,
symptoms.
you're going through it at a pretty older age.
Yeah, so I was like, woohoo, cool, done, and then all of a sudden, one day I couldn't stop crying. Like one day it was just horrible.
But you still can't stop crying.
Right.
I was gonna say she's still going through it. What is the doctor doing?
10 years, bitch.
Oh my God.
Oh, she's
no.
a little feisty.
This is
Wow.
actually how it goes because it's not like you're building up to menopause. What it is perimenopause for like 10 years. Menopause is like one day. And that's when you haven't had your period in 12 months. And then everything after that is postmenopause. So that's pretty much how it works. And like your body, everybody's body works differently. You have different elimination systems. You have different ways of doing things. You have different ways of digesting things and storing things and all that stuff. So everyone's perimenopause and everybody's decline of hormones is going to be different, so there is no one thing. Everybody talks about the hot flashes, and that is a good clue off. A good clue is when all of a sudden you're 90 degrees and it's winter and smoke is coming off of your head.
So what about Marietta, though? Marietta kind of stopped getting a period for over a year. She never had these symptoms before.
It was like right under a year, and then I had some kind of stress thing happen,
Right.
and it came back.
And it's gone now.
Well, we don't know. It was just...
No, like it stopped. It only lasted how long?
No, it lasted freaking like 9 days. Get the fuck
Oh,
out.
wow.
Yeah,
of
that's
that
another
shit.
thing. In perimenopause, one of the other clues, one of the symptoms of it is you get your period really, really heavy. And this didn't happen to me. I don't remember because just like everybody else,
But I remember
wasn't
you complaining about it.
Yeah, I wasn't putting two and two together. I was making excuses for all of these things. And, but it comes fast and furious. And then I was like 26 days. And then it goes all random. And then it was like 3 months. And, then I got up to 87 days. And I was like,
And now how many days you at?
like one something. I don't know. But I hate to get too, too
Excited.
confident.
And then it
Maria, how
comes
about
back.
you?
Right, exactly. And
Well,
stress is
are
one of
you-
those things that can bring it back.
So I'm a little bit younger. I'm in my mid 40s. I started in my mid 30s. But I'm at that stage where I'm like, it could be 84, 90 something days.
Right.
It'll disappear for 3 months, 4 months, and then it'll come back. But then it'll come consecutively for 2 3 months. And
Right.
then it just
Well, they actually said the hormone replacements do that. I read that,
Sometimes.
right?
Yeah, sometimes. The good thing about that, though, the good thing about continuing to get your period is because it's good for your bone density. The estrogen in your body that is creating, that is also fighting off osteoporosis, and that's a very good thing.
That was my question.
Well, we'll get to your question.
I actually knew someone who she had lost her period much younger than the average age, and as they got older their bones were very brittle,
Right.
very easy to break.
Oh God, that's why they always break hips.
Right, exactly. And it used to be, believe it or not, in our lifetime, the correlation was made between osteoporosis and estrogen in our lifetime. That's how little it was studied. Like, you think they would have come up with that maybe 100 years ago when they came up with, maybe you think, but no, they really didn't research it. They really didn't. And, women were just like,
But it's important to keep that, like you have to have supplements to keep the bone strong,
right,
regardless.
So,
right.
But at what stage should anybody see a doctor about this? Like, at what stage? Like, I don't know. Again, I've had one hot flash my entire life. I don't even think it was a hot flash. I think I was just heated from being overweight. But
Oh my God.
well, it's true, because what you guys say is a hot flash is not what I considered a hot flash. Like you said, your body's on fire. My body wasn't on
It's
fire.
like so intense.
And like I was not.
Well,
I
for
just
one
think I
thing,
was
you
just
should be
couldn't
going
breathe.
to the OBGYN at least every 6 months.
Who should?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
You should be getting mammograms. You should be going to the doctor. You should be
We have a lot of appointments to make.
you should be going. And when you go to the doctor, they take tests. They take hormone tests. They take a blood test. They take all kinds of tests, and they can tell you they can tell you, your hormones are dipping.
Your primary could tell you too.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why people don't go to the doctor is because they tell you things you never knew about. So I had my first mammogram last year, and I went, and they wound up costing me like, oh, you have something in there, this and that.
See?
Had to get it removed because I chose to, but it was never anything bad. And now I have to go more often. But what happens if it would have just went away? I felt it myself, which is why I went for the mammogram.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you got all these levels are wrong, and you need high cholesterol, this, that, and then I'm like, so like you don't want to go.
Well, what's funny is that's exactly, this guy at the bodega told me that exact story about the dentist. He goes, I don't go to the dentist because every single time I go, they find something wrong.
We don't speak like that on the air.
So I actually thought she was talking to the bodega guy about her menopause, and I'm like, you actually stop
No.
and say, "Can I get a cup of tea?" And what do you think about these
No.
menopause hot flashes?
No, but it's funny because we don't talk about it
Yeah,
so
it's
much.
an unspoken topic.
Right. It's such an unspoken topic that if you are like, let's say in line somewhere, and if you're like me and you're boisterous and you talk to people, you'll say something and people will join in all over the place. They love to talk about it.
Yeah,
'cause they
women
have no one
particularly like to speak about this.
Yes,
but
because they
have
don't
people
want to
talk
feel
to.
alone. They don't want to feel alone.
You're never alone.
I mean, I have to say though, listening to it, you guys made me, I'm opened up to a lot more than I thought it was. I remember my mother going a little crazy when I was younger, and I didn't know what it was. But, it also scares the shit out of me. Because I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I'm already crazy. So is she. So my point is,
But she had the easiest,
she technically, we don't know.
right? But how would we know?
We're going to go to the doctor together.
So what happened with you? Like, how did you, like,
So
so you're cruising around
I
in your
didn't
30s.
know. I didn't know it was happening.
40s.
Yeah, it started in my mid 30s. I didn't know it was happening. I was crying a lot. I was sad. I would I wasn't my bubbly self.
Right.
Very bubbly.
Yeah, I was like so ultra sad that I convinced my husband to we need a dog. I
Right.
thought it was because my daughter was in school and I was alone. How much more is there to
Here
clean
we
or
are,
cook?
making up stories about why this is
Right.
happening.
And so then I get the dog and I'm carrying it around because it's so little. And my husband's like, oh, you feeling better? And I said, no. And I did. I went to the doctor and she took the blood test, and she says, you're menopausal. My levels were low.
Right.
Then after that, all right, I'm menopausal. It's dismissive at this point. It's
Yeah,
everybody's going through it.
Right. Suck it up.
Yep. And then I remember one particular day, my girlfriend's husband is retiring and we're at this party and I'm sitting next to her mom and I legit thought somebody lit a flame. I was fully engulfed in this heat wave and it's hot outside. So I thought it was coming in from the door behind me. And I'm like, my husband's like, you all right? I'm sweating. And I go outside and it's even hotter outside. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even understand what's happening. It's
Right.
real. Is it really hot in there? I'm like, is it me? And my girlfriend's mother is hysterical laughing. Obviously she knows what's going on, but I don't.
Right.
I don't know how it's
But you
funny.
wouldn't think that at
No,
30,
you- no, but
35 years old. You wouldn't think you were going
this
through
is
that.
at this point I'm like probably like 41, 42, and I had no idea it was happening. And then it comes and it goes, and I'd say, "Oh, I think I'm having a hot flash."
Right.
And I would go to the doctor, and she'd say, "Oh, well, take this over the counter, black cohosh, have this tea, have
Yep.
this supplement."
That's exactly what happened to me.
There's nothing, it's just part.
There's nothing you can do about it.
nothing.
Take these supplements
Right.
that have not actually been approved by the FDA.
Right. And you just
We all
keep,
do, though.
you just keep going through this. And then it got to a point. So when you're going through this hot flash, the anxiety that builds because you can't cool down is so overwhelming, right? So now you're hot. You're sweating in places that you don't even know you should be sweating, right? Like in the crease of your elbow is like
Right.
dripping. You're
No, you're
turning
s-
into a puddle.
You're so right. You're so right.
And
You're melting.
You're melting.
You're melting. Help! I'm melting.
And I remember I took my husband to the doctor, and the doctor looks at me. She goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I am definitely not okay."
Right.
I was like, there is something seriously wrong. There is no reason for this to go on 24 hours a day. It's all day, every day. I wouldn't even want to leave my house. I would literally take a shower, and I was dripping already. There was no cooling down. There was no relief from it. So I said to her, I was like, for real, this is why women they go off themselves or someone else goes.
No, really.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it would be really.
This is the
scary.
reason,
It's
and
frustrating.
if you go back and read any literature about that was made in the early 1900s and stuff, they really built sanitariums. It was a business. They built sanitariums. Everyone shipped their wife there because their wife went nuts, and that's why. I'm convinced that that's why.
Oh no, absolutely. And it's so overwhelming because, and I have to say, the anxiety that you have, like you're actually like you can't even catch a breath. That's how intense it is, especially when you're so hot. And then you go from this extreme heat to now you're shivering and you're freezing in literally seconds, and then you go back to hot. I would rather be cold and put a blanket on
Right.
or a sweater
Right.
than have that extreme heat.
Right.
It's just so overwhelming.
Yeah, and if we go to the doctor, and now I think I might have some symptoms, but in different ways, like the brain fog. I think I have.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes I don't even remember, but then I think I'm just overwhelmed, and then at the same time, I don't know if it's the marijuana from years ago or whatever, but it's.
We all did that.
But I still do. I thought I fried a few cells, but that's what it feels
We all
like.
did.
That's what I thought too. It's like I killed so many of my brain cells. That's why I don't remember anything. But I don't remember.
No, but it's
anything.
and if you've been through it, it's a weird feeling, right? Like the brain fog, I can't even explain it. Like, I mean, I guess
I've
you
been
guys have
through
felt
that
it.
for
They're
years.
very
It seems
small.
weird,
They're very
right.
small
It's
things. Like, did I lock the door?
Although that I do normally.
Did I shut the coffee pot off? Did I unplug the iron? Or shut the blow dryer?
I get more like I don't remember what exactly I'm doing, or I'm not as focused. Maybe that's the right word. More focused, like on my work, like I used to be.
I'm not focused on anything.
And that is estrogen. Estrogen has a lot to do with brain fog. That when there's not enough estrogen in there, your brain doesn't function at its optimum capacity. I mean,
I'm gonna make an appointment for Boris. Just curiosity. I mean, I don't really want to be treated with hormones or anything. I would try to avoid it and go holistic at first, but
that's what I did. And in my particular case, I didn't want to be treated. I didn't know what I wanted. I was just a crying, sobbing, weeping mess, and I couldn't find anybody to help me. And so I went to the doctor, and all my Facebook feeds were flooded with all this joy in a bottle, happiness in a bottle, like all this stuff. And
Your mushroom powder.
I bought it all. I bought every single thing because I'm like, if any of these can help me, I'm in 100%. I'm the spokesperson. Then I, of course, went to my doctor, and my doctor's like, well, we don't want to be aggressive with this, as I'm like telling her all my symptoms and how I want to kill myself and everything. So a lot of people, they put them on Prozac or something like that. But that's just when you're that into it, that isn't even helping. That doesn't even mask the symptoms. That's what would happen if you were depressed. You're not depressed. You have a hormone deficiency. There's a big difference. So my doctor actually put me on something like holistic. And I went to Walgreens to fill it. And Walgreens said, this is something that, we don't have. You can like buy it on the counter. And the actual guy at Walgreens goes, look, I found it on eBay for $7. I was like, thank you. And I'm like, I'll try it. I was so desperate that I would have tried anything. And I couldn't sleep. Did you have that problem?
Oh, I went through a really long period of time of insomnia. Like I would go days.
Yeah.
I could watch TV all night and try to be quiet.
Right.
Yeah, I would days.
Right. You're not sleeping.
And then you
Yeah,
just
I
so
don't have that
exhausted
problem.
that you just crash. And even if it's for 2-3 hours, you're like, oh.
Well, I do have that problem, but I know why. My medicine offsets each other, so.
Yeah, I mean,
don't sleep.
do I ever have a problem sleeping? I could fall asleep in a second anywhere.
As far as I've known she could fall asleep in like now.
The only time that I've ever really had a sleeping issue is I think I drank like a double espresso too late.
Once you get the proper care for what you need, once you start solving your problems, then everything starts to straighten out. Like in my case, I didn't know what to do. And I had thought, hormone therapy bad, because that was all the studies that came out. And I decided in one of my sleepless nights, because you can go online and you can actually read the study itself, So I found the study and I read it. I read the whole thing, like, because I had nothing better to do at 3 a.m. I read the whole thing and I'm like, that's not what it says. Like, you know what I mean? And then I started reading some other things that had come out since the study, which was done in the early 2000s. And that was a whole generation of doctors grew up with that as their go-to. That's what they learned. This study that was actually, the conclusion of the study actually was non-founded. Like they did the study completely wrong. Their controls were wrong. They didn't do it properly. And so then I was on 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going on like hormone, it's like anything. And I'm like, I'm sure they're not going to take my insurance. I'm sure it's going to be really expensive. 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm typing everyone, who has an email address or that I could find. And this woman types me back. And she says, well, we do hormone. I go, do you do hormone replacement therapy? I don't mean to be a bitch, but I don't want to waste your time and go there and get like black cohosh and like some dandelion root because I already did that. She's like, no, I could almost hear her go, no, we do hormone therapy. Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, oh, I really need help. I'm sure you don't take my insurance. I told her my insurance. She's like, yeah, actually we do. I'm like, oh my God. And she was able to get me in that day.
That's amazing.
The first, and he didn't want to do anything because there was no blood work. The first thing you do is blood work to find out what is what. And I said, please, please, please. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'll give you the smallest dose of testosterone. He goes, really, this will do like nothing unless you really have a problem. My hot flash went away in the middle of the hot flash when he gave me that shot.
Wow.
I was like, and I didn't want to do it, but much like when my daughter had ADHD and I didn't want to medicate her, it helped me. And to get myself out of where I was my main objective, because I didn't think that, I remember saying to myself, if this is the way that I'm going to live the rest of my life, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not me. I'm not me.
The little bit of help that you get, even if it just takes the edge off, right? You just feel a little bit calmer.
Right.
So like I'm taking a non-hormonal pill. It shuts the little thermostat off in my brain. So I don't feel the hot flash. So I'm not like levitating out of the bed, running outside in the middle of a snowstorm,
Right.
I would do that.
God, you know how many times I did that? My husband would say, where are you going? I said, the air conditioning.
Marietta would do that though in her flip-flops walking Roscoe.
But I'm going to tell you one thing. I have been extremely cold lately, and it's not because I don't know what it is, but
She's getting old.
I don't wear a jacket.
It's winter.
And this
year you're wearing one?
Yeah. Not today. Today I just wore a sweater. But
No, I noticed that I get colder than
I wore a scarf the other day. I looked in my closet. I have scarves with tags on it because I've never worn a scarf in my entire life.
So we're not going through a menopause and we're cold all the time now.
Well, I mean, the older you get, the more of everything that you start to lose, the more.
That's why your older family members say, oh, turn down the TV, it's too loud. Or,
Right.
I don't do air conditioning. I'm like, don't do air conditioning. This is an air conditioner. If there's a hole in my
See, and
house.
I still like to sleep with the air conditioner
Oh, I
because I
can't.
just like it.
Yeah, but no, it's too cold now.
I mean, you start
71
losing.
is cold in the house now.
You
I
start
don't-
losing chemicals, and you start losing hormones, and you start losing, I mean, when was the last time you ran down the block? Right. And
Only
she
when
was
the
late
ice
for an
cream truck
appointment.
was passing by my house. I ran after that
Oh, when
bitch.
she's late for an appointment, she runs out of the Uber.
it's like you never know when the last time is going to be, but you do know because you see people who are older than you, and you've seen your mother, that you do start to lose things that collagen. You lose the collagen in your face.
But you also
In your body.
A lot of people do not go through these things. You said to me before your friends really didn't have bad, menopauses.
Right. Some did and some didn't, and I think, this is what I think. The one friend who had a very, very good experience, not good experience, but she didn't have a lot of symptoms. She was an avid exerciser. She was an avid, drank tons of water, like 64 ounces of water a day, like you're
opposite of
supposed to.
Marietta.
So, but then I see, the woman that I follow online, Natalie Jill, she was a fitness model, and she did all of those things, and it hit her just exactly like it hit me.
Well, it's hit a lot of people differently,
But that's what I think also.
What about
Because
your sex
everyone's
life?
body is different. Well, what happens with your sex life is you start losing these hormones, and it's a gradual, you're gradually losing your
I
hormones.
didn't ask that question. I know what the
Once you
statistics
start
show.
getting your hormones back, your sex life goes out of control, especially while you're trying to navigate, because they take to every, 6 or 8 weeks, I take a blood test to make sure where I am, if I'm on the right path, am I high in one thing and low in another thing or whatever. And so far, so good. I've only had to adjust once, but your sex life can go through the roof. You can be completely up for it, all the time. There's a lot of things too that people don't understand about menopause. Like, consider this. You're going through this weird thing where you don't know what your body's doing, and you don't know how you're feeling, and you don't know why you're feeling that, and you're crying and everything, but you have to go to work.
Right.
So do you really think that your boss is going to understand
I don't know. Let's
that
ask
you're
her.
a psycho?
Did you understand when she turned psycho? She wanted to have her committed.
No, but I felt bad. I mean, I really, really felt bad. Like, it was everything, and you could see it. When she would just cry, and I'm like, and I'm not very affectionate, so it's like, and I never am. Like, only my children can get me like that. But I mean, I'm like, whoa, something's wrong with her. And
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
and I'm like, all right. And then, but she didn't really know at that time what was happening. And
No idea. I had no idea.
but she was suffering till the point where I saw that she was suffering, and I was glad she found the place. Trust me, I don't know. If it was somebody else, they would have fired your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. Women get fired
So
at
you
this
have
age
to be
because
more
you can't.
understanding.
You're right. They have just not so long ago been able to get maternity leave. So they're never ever gonna get, menopause leave.
They've had that for a long time. I mean, even the husband's now getting FMLA.
It isn't as long as you think.
Well, I'm not going to tell you my beliefs on those, and if I agree with a lot of that.
Well, no, you don't have to. I'm just saying, right, women's rights have not been around.
Women's rights is never going to be what you want it to be in
And
our lifetime.
And we are kind of oh, we can vote, we can do that. We take a lot of things for granted, but we don't realize that, women of color couldn't vote until 1945. It hasn't been that long. No, we have to keep advocating for ourselves, and we have to keep advocating for ourselves in society, because there's a lot of women. We're not the only ones. There's lots of women, and they're going through all these things, and we can't help it. Just like with, having a baby, the woman carries the baby, but that's not up to you. That wasn't your choice. That's how you were born, so you have to suffer because you're the one who was born being the one to carry the baby, in work or whatever. And it hasn't been that long since women have been able to get at least a little bit of compensation for that, and it's something that's natural.
Well, I mean, there's a lot when you're saying compensation for that. I mean, you make your life the way you want to make it, and I don't see, as far as work wise, I'm different than anybody else. So, but as far as rights of taking somebody's right to choose if they're going to keep a baby or not is a different story.
No.
That's the kind of woman's
But
rights
should
that I
you-
support. You know, everybody to have their own opinion, even if I don't support what it's for.
Right.
But I don't know how much stuff we could really fight for. You know, I think
Why
that
do we have to fight?
But why do you feel that you have to fight?
Because if we don't, like, we have to choose between having a baby or having a career.
Why can't you do both? I did it 3 times.
Because you have to take time off work.
Actually, I didn't.
Right.
My kids came with me to work.
Do I think that we should take a little longer to, you know, you could have kids in your 30s. You had a kid older. You had your career first. You know, but you could have done both.
I mean,
You know, it works.
I don't know. My son, he would have been 31. I was in school then, so I didn't have a job. But when I had Sean, I was working a real job. I was working at Citigroup, and I took my time off. So I'm going back 20 years. I'm not saying these things, but
Right.
I
You got time off to have a baby.
I got my maternity leave.
Right.
Yeah.
And that
absolutely.
was a hard fought battle. That was a hard fought battle to get
I
maternity
can't look
leave.
at that as far as that. I built a business. Angelo's 9. I opened Prime Dental 9 years ago.
And
so, like,
honestly,
you know,
same with
right.
Michael.
You know, I built a business with my kid and raised my kid. You know, I
But
can't really
think
look
what-
at that.
I think what she's trying to say is that when you're working, you did something independently and very successful at doing that. But
Well, I worked another job at the same time. I get that. But I didn't worry about the maternity leave. You know, I couldn't wait to go back to work. I couldn't wait I don't think we should rely on those things either. You know,
But I do understand what she's saying a little bit. Like this is Aldo. You know, she likes.
no, I wanted to explain more of it. The maternity leave is not the only woman's right problems.
No, there's
that
so
there
many.
is.
Oh, by far.
So many.
You know, and there's so much, but what could we ever call the understanding of menopause? I don't know what kind of law that would fall under. It's a health thing. You can get a letter right now after COVID, and you could take time off, personal time, because of the laws that went into. I know New York does that. So if your doctor says you have a health issue that causes you not to work, it's the same thing. So is menopause looked at as a health issue that cannot make you go to work?
It will probably never be.
Right, because it lasts a long period of time.
Right.
And that's understandable. Sometimes, you know, we would have to get therapy and certain things. Like, should we help with that? Yes. Absolutely. You know, I would have paid anything to get you to stop.
She would have.
Because I was like, look, if they don't cover it, I'll take care of it. You know, I didn't know what was wrong, though. Like, you know, and it kind of looked like Elle was having psychological problems. So, like, that's where, you know, I understood. And I know in a big company, you're not going to have your boss to understand.
Not at all. And a lot of women lose their jobs, and then they're out of the workforce, you know, and they're confused and they don't know what's happening to their body.
But I think that's why we created the podcast also, that where it was a platform where people can come and speak about things that they can't speak about. And hopefully we learn from the people that are speaking to us, and like Maria, and, you know, we go from there. As far as it being a right thing, I'm not going to, you know.
Yeah, we don't. I don't have all the answers, but we're not.
No, there
stilting
is,
that.
you know, everybody's got their own experiences. You know, everybody's going to go through it their own way.
So many
their own
people say
pace.
they don't have anything, and so many people say it's miserable. I don't even know what to believe in.
And
now.
have nothing.
And then the same people who say it's nothing are going to say that it's miserable in 5 years. So, you know,
Right, like
give them
maybe
a
they
chance.
haven't hit their part of
Right.
it yet.
Right.
You know, so I think everybody's different. And also, like the hormones, I'm pretty sure, just like the Ozempic and all this other stuff, it's all about levels, and it's all about what works for you. And, you know, so everybody's going to be different.
Zepbound is the shit.
But you have those hormones originally in you, and they are much more in control of things that you had no idea that they were in control of, like muscles. Like, what were you saying about your shoulder?
oh my goodness, I had frozen shoulder
Yeah,
for like
you said
2
that.
years.
It's crazy.
I couldn't put my jacket on. I couldn't put a shirt on. Like, my husband was helping.
Did you go to like an orthopedic and see what?
So I had a hip issue, and I went to the orthopedic for that. And shortly after that started with the shoulder. So I went to my primary doctor and she said, "Oh, it's just a little frozen shoulder." And she gave me some
Ibuprofen.
no, a little exercise. You climb the wall, hold it, climb.
Physical therapy. Kind
Yeah,
of
just kind of like something like that. And I'm not really one for, even though she gave me a script for physical therapy, I was like, no.
Right, exactly.
I don't have time
Like, who
for
has
this.
time?
I don't
Right.
have time
You
to
don't know
sit
if
there
it's
for
going
an
to work
hour.
either, possibly, right?
Right. Well, it was just a lot going on at the same time, like family life. And it was just, I didn't have the time selflessly.
Take care of it.
Right. You want to take care of everybody else and not for yourself. So I didn't do anything with it, but I did a little exercise. But I found on TikTok that other women were complaining about the same thing. They couldn't put their shirt on, their jacket.
Right.
You can't reach, like reaching under the bed. Oh my God, to dust.
And I would have thought I was having a heart attack.
And they thought for until just recently that estrogen was just a sex hormone to have babies. And it's not. It's in your brain. It's in your body. It circulates through everything. And when the levels change, they change everything.
Well, any mother would know what it feels like because the hormones went up and down during pregnancy. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, it is. You feel...
I feel like it was different though. Like, I think because you're pregnant, that it's
Yeah.
happening, and here you're like,
You have no clue.
You don't know.
What's
you're like
Rage?
having like this experience.
Like, do you have like a rage in menopause?
That's one of the symptoms is a rage.
We'll never know.
My rage was due to frustration because I couldn't fix my own problem. If I could have fixed my own problem, I would have right away, and I not only could I not fix it, but then when I went to get help, they were giving me the runaround. And I've heard a lot of people have switched doctors because they're like, oh, deal with it. It's menopause. It's part of being a woman, just that's your lot in life.
Yeah, they kind
Yeah,
of
I
just
get it.
dismiss you, and like you have to just go through it.
Right. And you have to advocate for yourself.
But I think these days you don't have to.
I did. She actually told me to take dandelion root, which I already took. The doctor. I'm like, you're a doctor. I didn't go to a homeopath. I went to a doctor. Doctor.
But every doctor has a different way of practice. And I've noticed that. Every doctor has a different way.
Right.
They'll tell you to do this. They'll do what they feel is best for you, not what you feel is best for
But
you.
when I agree with you. And I told her what I had already done. So I thought it was very disrespectful of her to tell me to do it again. Like, why is it going to work the second time?
Some doctors just don't believe in different medicine. They don't believe in.
If they're not knowledgeable, like, think about it. You go specifically to a specialist for particular things, like going to the, say, gynecologist. They have their own specialty. You have to find someone who specializes
Right.
in that.
Yeah, you're not
they're
going
allowed
to
to
go. You're
treat
not
you
going to
like
go
a
to
test
your.
dummy.
You're not going to go to your gyno and say, "Can you check my eye out?" No.
Yeah. So
No, but you are going to say, check my hormones out. And then you are going to say, dandelion root isn't helping.
But they also, when they look, they look at the reports and they say it's normal. It's normal. But what is normal may be too high for you and too low for you.
Right. So it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
To
Very
control.
hard to pinpoint.
It
That's
is.
the way I feel, like listening to everybody's stories, people online watching things about it. I think it's different for everybody.
Yep.
And it's whatever they can balance it out. But like I said, we have to try different things to make it work.
Right.
Marietta, she'll never know when she's like raging.
I'm going to be raging in 2 seconds.
Oh,
But I think that, I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you would say, but like my advice to people would be to keep looking, keep searching, because don't let yourself get so like sad and depressed.
Yeah, I think they should educate themselves about what the multitude of symptoms are. That's for starters, because you don't know you're going through it until you're going through it. And there's different stages of it, right?
Right.
So me not knowing, okay, I'm sad because my daughter's in school and my husband is working and I'm home alone cooking and cleaning. Okay, fine. Then it's, I'm forgetting things. It's because I'm overwhelmed, or I'm hot because it's 100 degrees outside and I'm sitting by a door that you could feel the heat coming in. Like, But if you educate yourself and know what you're headed for, it's easier to deal with. And like, so I'm not taking any of those hormone replacement treatments. My treatment is non-hormonal. And for me, just not having a hot flash is like
Everything.
Oh my God, it's everything.
Yeah.
I could sleep. My husband would say like I'd levitate out of the bed. I'd be go running outside.
That's awesome though, because I mean,
I'm calmer now.
right. You seem very calm. I don't know how you were
Yeah.
before.
No,
very
I was crazy.
You're very chill.
I gotta
Elle's
tell you, I
always
could
been a chill
scream.
kind of person. So when she was going through it, it actually was kind of like not her personality to be like that.
I was irritable, right? The irritability.
Right.
Like somebody would. My husband says, "Does my breathing bother you?" Absolutely. Stop
Oh
it.
hell yeah, that's a normal thing.
Just stop it.
But what they have to do is they may have to make comparisons. Does my breathing bother you more or less than me not taking?
It's
L-carnitine?
always gonna bother you. Doesn't
I'd
matter.
rather you stop breathing.
Well, we thank Maria for coming on the show today.
Thank you, girls, for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I'm glad to have like.
I think this is
Another
gonna be like a
friend.
part
Yes.
2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should add a part 2 and have Maria back.
Yes, yes.
Have a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that
adorable.
there should be like a menopause cafe where you get to like destroy things and like,
Yeah, I'm sure the owners of that would love it. So thank you all for watching. I mean, we'd love you to like, subscribe, and ask us and tell us how if you went through it and what you went through.
Yeah, what horror show was your in perimenopause, or are you still in it?
Or on horror show, was it?
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
going out with a bang, people.
Well, welcome to the family.
We're the midlife mafia, we rise and we roar, chasing dreams, not dollars, we're settling the score. Wrinkles are our trophies, we wear them with pride. The fire's burning brighter, we've got nothing to hide.